Hello, colleagues. My name is Dr. Stan Reeley, and I appreciate you viewing my presentation as part of the OETS Virtual Symposium. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be among you. Um, I know I don't have much time to deliver a lot of data that I have in this presentation, and I also know that your time is valuable, so I'll get right to it. This presentation is on changing technology on online platforms and how this distracts faculty and students from the prime directive, which is teaching and learning, and then compound that amid the COVID-19 epidemic. So it's a lot of material to get to, so I'm going to begin it with, uh, with a metaphor. And that is some of you who may recall the days of Lucy and Ricky on the Lucy Show. Lucy at one time she was always trying to get odd jobs. and, and one time, Lucy and Ethel were working in a chocolate wrapping factory, and the chocolate would go down this conveyor belt, and their job was to take the chocolate and wrap it in wrapping paper. Okay, so what happened is she they were admonished, if one piece of chocolate gets passed, you're fired. So they really had to keep up. So what happened is, because the chocolate was coming down the conveyor belt so fast, they were having to scramble to find ways to keep up, and they started out fine at first, but they ended up stuffing it under their hat and into their blouse and all kinds of ways. But the boss came out afterward and said, you ladies are really, really keeping up with this chocolate wrapping job. So we're going to speed up the conveyor belt, so the chocolate will be coming out basically twice as fast as it was before. Now, realizing they had failed in really keeping up, and they were just stuffing it everywhere. To the boss, they did not realize that this is what they were doing, so they thought they were just doing the job and doing it well. So we were speeding it up. So they said, I think we're fighting a losing battle here. So what we're dealing with is changing technology in online platforms, and can distract faculty and students from the prime directive, teaching and learning. Yet these so-called bells and whistles, most often referred to as upgrades, are continuously being added to the LMS as part of each school's commitment to offer the most updated platform. And yeah, the schools want the LMS to look good and to be a representation of the university itself, because in a virtual world, without the bricks and mortar, the shiny campuses, the LMS is the university. So of course they want it to look good. Of course, administrators want the platform to reflect the image of the university. Um, Also, I put Henry Ford on here because Henry Ford was the one who first made the assembly line work in so that it could mass produce a single product in rapid fire time. They provided jobs, but everybody had their own little component to have to contribute to. But the whole idea behind Henry Ford was mass production. All right. So keeping that in mind, what we're dealing with is a lot of faculty members and students have reached out and have expressed concern that because the LMS and the technology and the bells and whistles and the tools are changing so much and so fast, they're spending a lot of time working on just getting through the technology. How do I upload an assignment? How do I post a discussion question? How do I create a video or an audio or file or something? And I'm hearing this from faculty and students. So they're more concerned about how do I make it work than what am I going to put into the content itself. So, it could be argued that their research, their attention to the actual topic, subject matter that they're in class for is being clouded by focus on how do I use the technology in order to send you anything that is assignment related or part of discussion. So this is what we're looking at. Now, the instrument I used was a 5-point Likert scale, and I put it out on SurveyMonkey. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that, and the fact that I had a had response ratios are pretty good from both faculty and students. This is how I came up with the numbers and the ratios to the questions that you're about to see. So let me get right to that. And I feel like because of the the platform that I use to reach faculty and students, I it was a good sample population. So I feel comfortable that the responses for this purpose are good indicators of what I was looking to find out. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you now. My college or university often changes how technology is used in my education. 42% of faculty and students strongly agree or agree. My college or university often changes how technology is used in my education. 42% strongly agree. I think I just said that. Okay, I spend major time adapting to new technology when it is changed at my college or university. 55% agree or strongly disagree. I wish that my college or university would spend less time on teaching how to use technology and more time teaching the subject matter. 38% agree and strongly agree. I feel that each time new technology is added, my focus shifts to learning it rather than learning the subject matter. 54% agree or strongly agree. And then lastly, just when I'm comfortable using the current technology, my college or university makes another change. So 42% agree or strongly agree. These are relatively high ratios in the percentage of the population. So this is why I thought that this information might be relevant to you as you teach or as you are administrators or both, as I was, and make it relevant to you as you make decisions down the road. So this is my objective, to share data and hopefully it will be something useful and applicable for you. Too much tech. When students register for these online courses, they're not taught how to use the technology. They're just put into the class. So they do have to spend a lot of time in learning how to use the technology to submit deliverables to the faculty members, us. And we, on the other hand, have to know how to instruct them in case they have questions, which we often have to do. So it's a good bit of learning just the technology itself. Nothing to do with the subject matter, nothing to do with the content at all, but rather, how do I get this to you? So while teaching and learning course materials, both faculty members and students must also master how to facilitate Things such as synchronous online meetings, engage in live chats, make videos, audio threads, respond to automated progress trackers, IAMs, access external outsourced testing sites, e-textbooks, databases, just to name a few. So it can be a little bit frustrating for students. So this student says, I'm a history major, not an airline pilot. And speaking of airline pilots, and in conclusion, most changes in the LMS technologies are cost related. And I get this because schools need to find ways to cut costs. But the bigger picture or the bigger question would be, are they because the virtual platform is the representation of the university, are they looking at the right things to cut back on as opposed to something else, okay? Because the face of the university is the LMS. And also, how many bells and whistles do we really need in order to teach students? Are we worried that we won't be able to keep their attention if it's more plain? If they are tech savvy, assuming that a lot of younger people are, maybe a lot of older people as well these days, is it not exciting enough for them to just have a basic learning management system? I deal with schools where we have virtual labs and things of that nature. So sometimes the technology has to be more robust and specific. So I get that, but in general, are we scaring students away by making them work too hard to learn the technology? And then finally, the COVID-19 scenario. I've had conversations with many in-class professors who really have avoided online teaching for so long, having to be thrust into the mix of teaching using technology because the campus, the in-seat campuses are closed. So they've had to transition from face-to-face to online. So this has been a big a change for them, a wake-up call. So they've not only had to learn how to teach online, but they've had to learn how to do it really, really quickly. And as a result, students um, who are signed up for face-to-face are now using technology. And are they really making that connection? And is technology able to do that successfully? There are lots of debate. There's a good bit of debate on this whole situation right now. Some faculty members have embraced it and said, I really like this better now than face to face. Students think the same thing. I don't have to get up and go to class. I can go to class in my pajamas. So all of these changes are taking place, and the COVID-19 epidemic has been a part of how these changes have taken place and were the catalyst for that. So anyways, a lot to take in, lots to think about. I hope this was an interesting presentation for you, and I do appreciate your time and attention, and I wish you well. Take care and stay safe. All for now. Bye-bye.